Now let me provide an example. Now, I believe there are many, and there are actual examples all around the world of what Sikhism has led to, but this is just one example. And this example is of feminism. Now, before we start, let's get rid of the negative stereotypical view of feminism. It is not merely the endorsement and empowerment of the female gender. Actually, feminism is a force, a movement against sexism completely. So it would be feminist for someone to defend somebody of the male gender as well, if that member of the male gender is suffering from sexist behavior. So I believe men and women entered a sincere state, and within that sincere state, they had preferred understanding over a lack of understanding. And perhaps through some meditation, they had recognized that there was a serious lack of understanding when it came to sexism, and that equality offers a greater understanding not only of the self but of others. And this equality is worth fighting for. So we have this movement of people fighting for equality, a practice that has resulted from entering a sincere state where they preferred understanding, where they preferred to grow with an understanding, where they preferred to be students, rather than mindless sheep or mere dogmatists that are simply accepting what society tells them. So instead, they had rejected sexism, no matter how many members of their family or how much of their culture and society endorsed it as truth. They had entered a sincere state of studenthood, recognized that it is unacceptable, that there's a lack of understanding when it comes to sexism, and then begin to fight for equality. Now, they are not warriors in the same sense of Khalsa. They're not fighting with swords. Perhaps they're doing protests or fighting through legal means, but indeed they are fighting for equality, and equality is clearly a Sikh principle. So we have these people fighting for Sikh principles, having entered a sincere state of studenthood. I believe this is the application of Sikhism to a paradigm which sexism was so great, so prevalent, that it has resulted in a practice, a movement to fight for equality, gender equality. But it would be insincere. It's quite obvious that we can't take the symbol for feminism. I don't know what symbol that is, but whatever symbol, if there is even a symbol for feminism itself, we could not take that symbol and say that symbol represents Sikhism, in the same way that we cannot take the khanda or that painting symbol and say that that symbol itself represents Sikhism. Sikhism is in fact a way of life, and it is applied to particular paradigms that may result in different practices. But let's be clear, I am not trying to attack Punjabi history or culture, or the Khalsa. I do believe they're very beautiful. Yes, it does deserve to be preserved, but the desire to preserve it should not be so great that we feel the need to confuse and conflate it with Sikh philosophy. We should not feel that the only way we can defend keeping our culture is by saying the Gurus endorsed it, that the Gurus endorsed being Punjabi or Punjabi culture. The Gurus endorsed Sikhism as a philosophy. We have to find ways to explain Sikhism and talk about it in ways that are independent of Punjab, because only then can it be something that anybody in any paradigm, in any part of the world, at any time is capable of accessing. That anyone is capable of being Sikh, not just the Punjabi paradigm, not just those who belong to the Punjab paradigm. And therefore, also if we can understand that, not just those who are willing to be warriors. To claim that warriorhood or belonging to the Punjab paradigm, anything belonging specifically to one paradigm, is in of itself spiritually and ethically greater than other things, is not equality. That would violate our Sikh principles of equality. Warriorhood itself is an occupation, and it cannot be spiritually and ethically greater in of itself than artistry or engineering or feminism. It is certainly appropriate to use the Khanda symbol when we're talking about the Punjab paradigm and how Sikhism has applied to that paradigm, how it has resulted in a practice of warriorhood, and how wonderful and beautiful that practice is. But it does not make sense, it is not appropriate for us to think that that practice is the universal practice for Sikhism. It can't be. It is not universally spiritually and ethically beneficial, while Sikhism is. But we will suffer confusing our younger people and other people of other cultures when we try to teach them about Sikhism if instead we teach them about Punjab. The things have blended together, and we now teach our youth things that are important specifically to the Punjabi culture, to the Punjabi paradigm. We should not confuse or conflate both issues here. Be clear on what it means to be Punjabi and what it means to be Khalsa, and be clear on what it means to be Sikh. If we confuse the two, we begin to tell other people that what it means to be Sikh is to be a warrior, when Sikh clearly means student, not warrior. How do we forget that?